All right, what's good, folks? It's another Thursday. About to get in here with my bro. Just waiting for him to tap in. There you go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, we back.
What's going on, brother? We
Best way
are
to end the
back.
night, bro. Best way to end the night.
Yes,
What's good,
sir.
bro?
What's up, man? That's my guy right there. Let me just
Yo,
go
I
in.
was I was watching him do the breathing exercises.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, bro, I need to get back like to doing my exercising myself too.
I think he was doing Wim Hof, if I'm not mistaken. He was doing a Wim Hof breathing exercise in the video I watched.
Wim Hof. That's pretty fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. When I was watching it, I was like,
How you
man,
doing?
I responded to his question on his story. And
What
I
you
was
think?
like, just talking about spirit and breath, and I was like, yeah, I need to work on that since it's based that is your spirit, you know.
Mm-hmm. I answered him too. I said, I was thankful for the breath of life, man.
Bro, we said the same thing. I said I was slick wondering if that was you too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was me. We just on the same frequency, bro.
That's a good thing.
Mm.
Yeah. So
Chapter
again,
5.
fam, we back in here again these Tuesdays and Thursdays, reading The Mis-Education of the Negro by Carter G. Woodson, the father of Black History Month, if you did not know that already. Also, the brother was the second Black graduate from the University of Harvard. So, like we said before, I'm pretty sure this man knew what he was talking about. Or
And
knew
you know,
something.
he definitely knew something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've been reading for about a week now. We've been doing this a couple times a week. Right now we're on chapter 5. So the chapters aren't very long. They're probably about, I don't know, like 10 pages each, you would say?
Not even that.
Not
Like
even
some of them been like 6. The one we about to read now, I think it's 7, and then the one after that 6 as well. So, I mean, we
right.
pretty
So
good.
throughout Black History Month, we are going to continue to read his book and finish his book by the end of the month. But it's only right that we bring his words into power and allow his words to come back to life during this month.
Mm-hmm.
If y'all didn't know, Carter G. Woodson started Black History Month, or he's the father of Black History Month. So,
Dang, man, can't get this thing going, man. But so
what's
if
up,
y'all didn't
everybody?
know, it used to be my bad. What'd you say?
No, I was just saying, what's up, everybody?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So if y'all didn't know, it also used to be Black History Week, and then turned into Black History Month. But as we know here, you know, it's Black History 365, and we know Black history is African history. So, or it's African, and the African history is world history at that. So it's a good, well, it's imperative to actually still study something that, you know, like hasn't necessarily been on the forefront. You know, you contributed to society, you were valuable to society. You know, you have your own unique things that you bring to this world. So it's imperative that we actually study it. What's good, fam? I know, right? All day, bro. All day, bro. What's
Time
up?
and space don't make no difference, man.
Exactly, bro. Bro, I was just thinking about back in high school, back in the day, bro. Man, I'm really gotta catch up with all y'all, man. So, but we about to get into this book.
And also, man, I want to say, so me and Zach have a book club called Unlocked TBC. And if you want to tap in, if you like what you see here and you want to read with us on a closer level, you know, build discussion with us, you can tap our page right there, send us a message either on that page or either one of these pages, and we'll link y'all in with our book club, man. We're really building something powerful.
Exactly.
And at the same time, I would highly recommend y'all. This is something I haven't said in the past. I regret. If y'all like this, send this to somebody who you think this is interesting. Will find this interesting. You know, share this with people. Get people tapped in with what we're doing here, because I think we're spreading a lot of important information.
Yeah, exactly. It's not something you want to get in your average school. You
Yeah,
know, like,
and you know, we're not asking you for money. We ain't asking you for really anything but your time, your ears, and to really just learn with us.
yeah.
Like for me, I'm not preaching anything, but you know, this is my first time reading this, so I'm learning at the same time y'all are.
So, like we always do, we starting this off with an intention. As we said before, it's important to always do things with intention and move with spirit. So, again, start. Would you want to start off today? Or you want me to again?
Sure, I'll set the intention of just bringing Carter G's purpose, his mission, his vision, and his words and truth into life. So, I mean, I think that's what we're doing here, and that's what we intend to do. And also, I know we love to give thanks to people, people who came before us, and also our ancestors. So, I'm gonna give thanks to Carter G, W. Du Bois. Um, I'm gonna give thanks to Marcus Garvey. I'm gonna just say three names. You know what I mean? So those are some ancestors I'm gonna give thanks for, and then I'm gonna also give thanks to my personal ancestors. I'm gonna call some of them out in my head, but most definitely.
Yeah. Always giving thanks to the Creator, the Source, God, Jah, the universe, the energy, whatever you want to say. I'm very thankful for a lot of our ancestors as well. As he said, I'm probably just gonna do three too. So again, I always do El Haj Malik El Shabazz, Malcolm X, let's see, Kwame Ture, and let's see, who else would I go with?
Who you feeling, bro?
I don't know why, but for some reason Shaka Zulu came in my head. I don't even know.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know why that came in my head, bro.
So,
but yeah. So man, I should have said Queen Nzinga. That's
you
what
can say her too. I give thanks for her. Yeah, because we didn't say no women, but we got to give big ups to Queen Nzinga. And if you don't know who Queen Nzinga is, look her up. If you don't want to look her up, send me a message and I'll have a conversation with y'all. I'll teach you who Queen Nzinga is, man. That's a powerful woman right there. Powerful ancestor that we should all know.
Woman so powerful, men would fall for her to sit on. Like, no cap.
Right.
So, as we get back into this work, again, we're doing chapter 5, and most likely going to do chapter 6. So, you want to start it off or you want me to?
Sure, I'll start off because you started off last time. And like I said again, share this with somebody who you think would find this information interesting. We're reading The Mis-Education of the Negro, Carter G. Woodson.
It's like, I don't know which side it is. On one of these sides, I know there's that little messenger button. Go ahead and send that thing off to somebody, man. Go ahead and big ups, put some likes on here too. Because last time I was getting a little hyped off them likes.
Facts.
Yeah.
Read all night. Yeah, I kept throwing them lights in there. Word.
Appreciate you, Carl. Shout out to you.
Thank you. Blessings and love, man. Love and light, man. Appreciate y'all. All right. So we're going to start off right today with chapter 5, The Failure to Learn to Make a Living. Chapter 5 of The Mis-Education of the Negro. And Zach, where do you want me to read to? Well,
just you on PDF, right?
Yeah.
So it's like 7 pages. 1, 2, 3, 3.5 would be like when you get to the word impossible. I'll just keep it in mind. Got you.
Okay, I see it. All right. So, the greatest indictment of such education as Negroes have received, however, is that they thereby learn little as to making a living, the first essential in civilization. Rural Negroes have always known something about agriculture, and in a country where land is abundant, they have been able to make some sort of living on the soil, even though they have not always employed scientific methods of farming. In industry where the competition is keener, however, What the Negro has learned in school has little bearing on the situation, as pointed out above. In business, the role of education as a factor in the uplift of the Negro has been still less significant. The Negroes of today are unable to employ one another, and the whites are inclined to call on Negroes only when workers of their own race have been taken care of. For the solution of the problem, the miseducated Negro has offered no remedy whatsoever. What Negroes are now being taught does not bring their minds into harmony with life as they must face it. When a Negro student works his way through college by polishing shoes, he does not think of making a special study of the science underlying the production and distribution of leather and its products that he may someday figure in this sphere. The Negro boy sent to college by a mechanic seldom dreams of learning mechanical engineering to build upon the foundation his father has laid, that in years to come he may figure as a contractor or a consulting engineer. The Negro girl who goes to college hardly wants to return to her mother if she is a washerwoman, but this girl should come back with sufficient knowledge of physics and chemistry and business administration to use her mother's work as the nucleus for a modern steam laundry. A white professor of a university recently resigned his position to become rich by running a laundry for Negroes in a southern city. A Negro college instructor would have considered such a suggestion an insult. This so-called education of Negro college graduates leads them to throw away opportunities which they have and to go in quest of those which they do not find. In the case of the white, yeah, speak on that.
Because, like, I like when he's basically saying the part where he said he does not think of making let me go back. He said when a Negro student works his way through college by polishing shoes, he does not think of making a special study of the science underlying the production and distribution of leather and its products that he may someday figure in his sphere. Like he's saying, like we keep on, for instance, kind of like today, where we do have a lot of Black-owned businesses, but we're not actually thinking of the actual production behind the business. Like where exactly? Because for me, when I look at like toothpaste tubes or some other like a bottle or something like that, and I see the like terms P&G on it, or Unilever, or and like I'm like, dang, they got all the production. Like they really got all the production, and he's saying, I like that he's saying it, saying like, yo, even the young lady should go off to school, but she never really thinks of the physics and chemistry behind how to like do more, expound upon what her mom's doing.
Or you know, she has all the information, she has all the skills, but you know, they'll take those skills and they'll go work for like a white business or a European that's gonna pay them money instead of going back to the people that know the like how to do the work and creating a business there that could provide for the community and provide for them. So I think that what they just said right there was powerful. I'm glad you stopped me right there.
Now, another point, and shout out, what's up, young Steve? Another thing he said, bro, and this was funny too. He said a white professor of university, he went ahead and retired and said, shoot, I'm gonna become rich, but I'm gonna go to the Negroes,
Exactly.
where the Negroes stay at, and I'm gonna put my laundromat up in here, and I'm gonna be good.
And we see that pay out in our communities.
Exactly. Like how many times have we heard somebody always say something about another demographic that's in our community with a business? You know, we putting our money in that business and it's going right out of our community. Like how many times? What's good, fam?
What up, Ryan? What's good, man?
Like how many times do we hear that? And he basically saying right here, he was like, a brother would have thought that was an insult hearing that. So it's that. Again, this is 1933. That's crazy.
Still happening today, right?
Yeah.
All right. No, you good, bro. Don't apologize, man, for nothing. In the case of the white youth in this country, they can choose their courses more at random and still succeed because of numerous opportunities offered by their people. But even they show so much more wisdom than do the Negroes. For example, a year or two after the author left Harvard, he found out West, a schoolmate who was studying wool. How did you happen to go into this sort of thing? The author inquired. His people, the former replied, had some experience in wool, and in college he prepared for this work. On the contrary, the author studied Aristotle, Plato, Marci- Marcilago, I don't know how
Mm-hmm.
to say his name, of Padua, and Pacius Robertius when he was in college. His friend who studied wool, however, is now independently rich and has sufficient leisure to enjoy the cultural side of life, which his knowledge of the science underlying his business developed. But the author has to make his living by begging for a struggling case.
Bro, we
So
gotta
we
pause.
go,
Yeah,
we going to school and we learning all this. We learning about Greek philosophers.
yeah.
All these things that we can't really apply to generate us any type of wealth. Yeah, he had a classical education, precisely, and where that could be useful, but in our case, in our situation, to fit our needs, it doesn't really fulfill anything.
Exactly. Again, man, it's like you get educated in the box. Like they
Mm-hmm.
always tell you think outside the box, but it's like you get educated in. Because for me, bro, at UGA, man, I sat there when I found out agriculture was one of like the top 5, top 10 paying as soon as you graduate from UGA. I was like, what? Agriculture? You mean to tell me if I would have got out there with them chickens, I would have been making some bread, like 6 figures right when I come out, just to mess with some chickens? Like
Mm-hmm.
what? So seeing this again, man, it's like that education, and then like you missed out on opportunities. You too smart almost.
Right? Or you the wrong kind of smart. You miseducated.
Yeah.
Precisely. And I like what Ryan was saying here. He said education ain't got nothing to do with it. Networking is the key, and education just gives you the vocabulary. Like exactly. Um, so I'm gonna keep on reading. An observer recently saw at the market near his office a striking example of this inefficiency of our system. He often goes over there at noon to buy a bit of fruit and to talk with a young woman who successfully conducts a fruit stand there in cooperation with her mother. Some years ago, he tried to teach her in high school, but her memory was poor and she could not understand what he was trying to do. She stayed a few weeks smiling at the others who toiled and finally left to assist her mother in business. She learned from her mother, however, how to make a living and to be happy. This observer was reminded of this young woman soon thereafter when they came to visit him, a friend who succeeded in mastering everything taught in high school at that time and later distinguished himself in college. This highly educated man brought with him a complaint against life. Having an extreme difficulty in finding an opportunity to do what he is trained to do, he has thought several times of committing suicide. A friend encouraged this despondent man to go ahead and do it. Wow. The sooner the better. The food and air which he is now consuming may then go to keep alive someone who is in touch with life and able to grapple with his problems. This man has been educated away from the fruit stand. And this passage right here just made me think of Rich Dad Poor Dad.
For real? Yeah.
Like exactly. Like how in Rich Dad Poor Dad, he was saying, went to college, he got this education, but he always working for somebody else.
Yeah.
He always relying on somebody else for a job. He didn't really learn how to make a living by himself. But the dad that didn't go to college, he had to do for himself. He learned all these different skills that ended up making him money. The other dude went to college to learn how to make money for somebody else.
Yeah.
So that's really what that made me think of.
Again, self-sustainability,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like your first education need to be like just self-sustainability, but that also comes with how to hustle.
Yeah.
Like in just that in general, like just having, they always talk about it in sports, like Deion Sanders, I believe. I think no, it was Michael Irvin. Uh, I'm tripping. And it's Michael Irvin, Jerry Rice, or Deion Sanders. It was one of them three. But one of them, they became so great because always in their mind, they was like, yo, if I don't make this catch, I don't eat. Like I might not have dinner in the next time. Like that's where they came from. So in this, like I'm like, dang, you hustling is something that you have to learn. Like they don't teach hustle.
Right. And that's one thing me and my friends always talk about. Like one thing we learned growing up was just like the art of finesse. And I actually got a friend who got a book called The Art of Finesse, my boy Eli. But
Yo, I just met him.
oh, you met Eli?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
Elijah Watkins, that's my boy, man. We
No,
went
I
to high
met him
school
through
together, man.
Jehudi, bro.
Oh, through Jehudi, yeah, makes
Yeah.
sense. Makes sense. Yeah, we gotta tighten that circle, man.
Not for real.
For
Again,
sure.
bro said, network.
Yeah, real shit. All right. So this I didn't even finish my point on that, but the art of finesse is something that you learn through life. You know what I'm saying? So you learn
Yeah.
how to make something out of nothing. And that's basically what we're saying, that art of hustle, making a living for yourself. They're not gonna teach you that in the book. But it's important. It's an important skill to know.
You said it right there. How to make
Mm-hmm.
something out of nothing. That's what you
Right.
were saying before. You know how to make it with what you have now.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So the friend had been trying to convince this misfit of the unusual opportunities for the Negroes in business, but he reprimanded his advisor for urging him to take up such a task when most Negroes thus engaged had been failures. If we invest our money in some enterprise of our own, said he, those in charge will misuse or misappropriate it. Misappropriate it. I have learned from this study of economics that we have just as well keep throwing it away. Apologize, y'all. I keep stumbling. Upon investigation, however, it was discovered that this complaint and most others like him have never invested anything in any of the Negro enterprises, although they have tried to make a living by exploiting them.
This man's spitting.
Right? But they feel a bit guilty on this account, and when they have some apparent ground for fault finding, they try to satisfy their conscience, which all but condemns them for their suicidal course of getting all they can out of the race while giving nothing back to it.
Bro, I've had that conversation right there with people. Just being innocent, or even just with reparations. And
Mm-hmm.
bro, I've said it myself, just thinking like, dang, bro, if we get it now, like we don't have enough people financially literate. It's just gonna go right back to them. So
Right.
I'm definitely, but I'm trying to do my small investments in us. But listen, my bad. Let me continue,
No,
bro.
no, no, no. You should speak
Nah,
on
nah,
that, man.
it's just my bad in the sense of like I ain't trying to stop on every paragraph.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
It's okay, man. We're gonna let it carry us. We're gonna let spirit carry us. Gossiping and scandal mongering Negroes, of course, come to their assistance. Miseducated by the oppressors of the race, such Negroes expect the Negro businessman to fail anyway. They seize then upon favorable reports, exaggerate the situation, and circulate falsehoods throughout the world to their own undoing. You read such headlines as Greatest Negro Business Fails, Negro Bank Robbed by Its Officers, and The Twilight of Negro Business. The miseducated Negroes then stand by saying, I told you so, Negroes can't run business. My professors pointed out to me years ago when I studied economics in college, and I never intend to put any of my money in Negro enterprise. Yet, investigation shows that in proportion to the amount of capital invested in Negro enterprises, manifests about as much strength as businesses of others similarly situated. Negro businessmen have made mistakes and they are still making them. But the weak link in the chain is that they are not properly supported and do not always grow strong enough to pass through a crisis. The Negro businessman then has not failed so much as he has failed to get support of Negroes who should be mentally developed sufficiently to see the wisdom of supporting such enterprises. And I feel like we're just now getting to that, understanding like the importance of group economics and understanding that usually when Negro businesses fail, it's not because we black, bro. And there's a lot of attacks on Negro businesses as well. Like there's
yeah.
so many different things that go into that. But I'm glad now, like nowadays, people are starting to see, like, okay, we got to invest in each other and we got to come together and spend our dollars with each other to really build some type of, at least economic power.
Again, I feel as though what he's saying right here, we I think like the alchemist said, bro, we're just conditioned to self-hate
Mm-hmm.
to a point. To We know now from the books like The Color of Money that like when, like, for instance, Frederick Douglass, when he was, I think he became the head of, I can't, if y'all know it, please put it in the chat, but I can't remember which bank he became the head of, but they placed him there after they already knew it was failing. So like this, when he put the headline up there talking about greatest Negro business fails, Negro bank robbed by its officers. In my mind, like she in that book, she goes. We might have to check that one out one day. But she,
Money.
The color of money.
Yeah, I got it, but I ain't never read it yet. So shoot.
That whole first chapter sits there in my head where it's like, dang, y'all really just screwed up all of our economic development, no matter what it was. Like we've been knowing since before the Civil War that we needed banks. Like one brother in there, like she quotes one brother in there, like early 1800s, where he's like, the solution is we need our own bank. And next thing you know, she ends up going through the process of how each one of our banks had either money going back to Caucasian entities, or that one of our banks, like it would be screwed over by the Caucasian entities. Like it wasn't necessarily like we just can't get right. Like, so just like what he's saying, man, and you can't sit there and just fall into self-hate so much. So
All right, so everybody that's just joining in here, I just want to get y'all up to speed. We're reading The Mis-Education of the Negro by Carter G. Woodson. We're in the 5th chapter right now. And you know what? I want to make it easy for people to get the PDF. So like next time when we do this, I'll put a link in our bio for Unlock, so y'all could just easily get the PDF, because I know it would be cool for y'all to actually follow along with us.
yeah.
Okay, so now the highly educated Negroes who have studied economics at Harvard, Yale, Columbia, and Chicago will say that the Negro cannot succeed in business because their professors who have never had a moment's experience in this sphere have written accordingly. The whites, they say, have the control of the natural resources and so monopolize the production of raw materials as to eliminate the competition of the Negro. Apparently, this is true. All things being equal from the point of view of the oppressor, he sees that the Negro cannot meet the test. The impatient, highly educated Negroes, therefore, say that under the present system of capitalism, the Negro has no chance to toil upward in the economic sphere.
Pause.
Pause.
The first time I read this, I was not as politically enlightened on our situation as before. Again, anybody in here, I'm telling you now, black capitalism is not the way. I promise you. Richard Nixon is the person who first coined it. He's the first person to coin the term black capitalism. So if Richard Nixon is the person who threw that out there, do you actually think it's something that's really for us? So just again, I ain't telling you what to think, but telling you to think about it. So, bro, again, but getting back to this, I didn't realize the first time I read it, I didn't really catch the like capitalism and how destructive it is to our overall plight. Again, man, another book.
I
In
really wish you could supplement it
1933.
with this book. You see what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Because what this book
Exactly.
saying right here proves that.
Now, okay, you talking about social capitalism. Capitalism, no matter what, is still capitalism. It doesn't matter what other adjective you put in front of it. Like social capitalism, where technically, if you're thinking of it in a communal sense, then that's socialism. Because you can still have economic development and production, but in socialism, which, as he just now showed with Walter Rodney's book, How Europe Underdeveloped Africa, man, I wish I would have started with that book a long time ago, because I've read so many books to get to where my thought process. But maybe I would have understood exactly what he's talking about then either, because that book is crucial, man. He really laying it out. As far as we were really on a mode of progression that was truly interrupted, and although we were transitioning into feudalism, we still had communalism going on. Like that was still the component going. And I ain't gonna go too deep into it yet, because I know we still reading it in our work study. Yeah. But man, I'm gonna definitely be telling folks about that book, and I'm definitely buying another book, like a second copy of it.
But I really like how in this book he traces like the natural progression of these systems, if they're you know, if it's gonna actually become beneficial for like the people as a whole. There's a natural progression to those systems, and from capitalism it naturally progresses into socialism, and that we won't really have any type of economic power or freedom within a capitalistic system.
Mm-mm.
Like you were saying, like capitalism is just socialism for the rich,
Exactly.
and they feed off of the work of the poor and the resources that they claim to own, but should really belong to everybody. So
I
very
mean,
good book. I haven't read the whole book to really speak on it very well, but I'm sure like hit me in a month, and I'm gonna be able to spit some game to y'all for real.
nah, for real, for real. 'Cause he really lays out how it was working. It was working, man. We like you. It was all kinship at first, but it moved into like everybody, even your distant kin, like your fourth cousin. You could pull up and be fine. Y'all sharing everything. So like we trying to get back to that point. We still trying to get everybody in the diaspora to realize, bro, we still cousins. We just cousins. Like, so like as soon as we can all come to that conclusion, man, the communalism of our ancestors, and I feel it as though it'll be unstoppable, man.
Unstoppable.
It's
And all it
unstoppable.
takes is that understanding, man.
Yeah.
Once we understand where we come from and we re-identify with that, you're gonna see people as your brother, as your sister.
Exactly.
You're gonna treat them as if they are your brother and your sister. So it
Exactly.
just makes a world of a difference. All right. You start me.
Right after that capitalism sentence.
Okay, I'm gonna just start over right there. The
Okay.
impatient, highly educated Negroes, therefore, say that under the present system of capitalism, the Negro has no chance to toil upward in the economic sphere. The only hope for bettering his condition in this respect is through socialism and the overthrow of the present economic regime and the inauguration of popular control of resources and agencies which are now being operated for personal gain. This thought is gaining ground among Negroes in this country and is rapidly sweeping them into the ranks of what are commonly known as communists. There can be no objection to this radical change if it brings with it some unselfish genius to do the task better than it is being done now under the present regime of competition. Russia so far has failed to do well in this particular thing under the proletarian dictatorship in an agricultural country. But whether this millennium comes or not, the capitalistic system is so strongly entrenched at the present that the radicals must struggle many years to overthrow it. And if the Negro has to wait until that time to try to improve his condition, he will be starved out so soon that he will not be here to tell the story. The Negro, therefore, like all other impressed people, must learn to do the so-called impossible. And I don't know what he's going to say the so-called impossible is, but I mean, I think he's just pointing to the fact that we kind of do got to, unfortunately, we got to play the capitalistic game to some extent. Am I reading that accurately? Is that what you're getting from that?
For me, when I see when he's saying the so-called impossible, because he's talking about overthrowing it, and he's talking about like for me, in my opinion, and relating it to my conversations with people, everybody's like, bro, well, what are we supposed to do now?
Right.
And it's like, bro, you have to start it. Like, if you never
Okay.
start to try to overthrow it, you never start to try to think differently, to move differently. Like,
That's true.
we talked about
Big ups,
before,
big ups.
the only thing that actually made Caucasians like what repels Caucasians is to be truly African, to be truly yourself. As we said with the Haitian Revolution, Bookman's prayer. He's
Yeah.
telling you, bro, throw away that white man's God. As Jacob Carruthers talked about with the Maroon societies and everything, bro. You went to Jamaica or Brazil and you go up in the mountains, but those are some true African people. They're not effing with anything Caucasian. They themselves. You go to societies in Africa. There are still societies in Africa that are so African that they don't want any European tokens. They're to the point where like you can't do anything with them. So it's like you have that. I feel like that's what the impossible is, to try to start in general, to just believe in yourself, really. Because again, it looks like it's impossible, and we think in short term because we're so used to capitalism in a sense. And capitalism is nothing but fast. You can get things fast when all you do is throw some cash at it. But when you're talking about something that's really like uplifting of people, empowerment, you can't get that with cash. That comes from within. So again, that's moving spiritually. That's moving unified. And again, when we talking about spirituality, then we talking about something with God. And God's timing, like I said before, God's timing is not our timing. So we trying to do things fast. It's not gonna work that way.
Well, thank you for that, man. Providing that clarity for me. I appreciate that. You speaking truth. I see that.
Yeah, but my bad. That's my interpretation.
Don't say your bad,
Yeah.
bro. Stop saying that, bro. Stop saying that, man. We needed that. And like the alchemist said, he said you got to start somewhere, bro. He was just resonating with what you were saying. I know that was where I was supposed to stop, so that was perfect. Right?
Right.
Yeah. He said needed
You're
that.
right.
Love that.
All right. So the uneducated Negro businessman, however, is actually at work doing the very thing which the miseducated Negro has been taught to believe cannot be done. The much handicapped Negro businessman could do better if he had some assistance, but our schools are turning out men who do as much to impede the progress of the Negro in business as they do to help him. The trouble is that they do not think for themselves. If the highly educated Negro would forget most of the untried theories taught him in school, if he could see through the propaganda which has been instilled into his mind under the pretext of education, if he would fall in love with his own people and begin to sacrifice for their uplift, if the highly educated Negro would do these things, he could solve some of the problems now confronting the race. Boy, that
Man.
man spitting. That man spitting, man.
And you know, just right there, bro. Like, imagine that, like the rich black people, like really did, you know, just think in that essence, bro. Like,
Yeah.
what could really be, man? Like
that man. Again, we just now like Jalen said, it's his first time reading it. This is my first time reading it in over a year, and he basically co-signed what I just said as far as
he's saying what we saying
fall
before,
in love
you
with
know?
his own people and begin to sacrifice.
Yeah.
John Henry Clark said it's only one generation that it takes. It only takes one to understand, to be that sacrificial generation. Who is gonna actually have the courage to really struggle for real, like our ancestors did physically? Like you said, it's time for us to do mentally.
Exactly.
He said, "I've been self-employed for 10 years." That's what's up, bro. I know you got a total different mindset than many people out here. For 10 years, definitely.
Time, bro. I'm gonna be there one day. I'm gonna be right there with you, man.
Facts.
Big facts.
He said, hold on. He said, "I learned young that the system wasn't designed for black people to thrive." That's
It's a blessing that you learned that young, man.
I feel as though a lot of people catch that, but we don't know how to think out of it. You know, it was like he's saying, like you get so caught up in thinking what's impossible. You know, we get caught up in realizing like, dang, they got a monopoly on everything.
Right.
But
or like even when I was reading that, I was saying like, oh, we got to play the game that is like it's made to make you think that. You know what I'm saying? Made to make you think that, oh, I gotta be a black capitalist, you know, but nah, you really don't. Yeah.
He said tap in, bro. We about to.
You're gonna tap in with you for sure.
Thanks. So it said, during recent years, we have heard much of education in business administration departments in Negro colleges. But if they be judged by the products turned out by these departments, they are not worth a continental. I don't know what that means, but that's funny. The teachers in this field are not prepared to do the work, and the trustees of our institutions are spending their time with trifles instead of addressing themselves to the study of the situation which threatens the Negro with economic extermination. And, bro, we still seeing that because folks, we seeing they said about what they say about 2050 our dollar would be almost non-existent.
Yeah,
that's crazy. So recently, the author saw the need for a change of attitude when a young woman came almost directly to his office after her graduation from a business school to seek employment. After hearing her story, he finally told her that he would give her a he would give her a trial at $15 a week. $15 a week, she cried. I cannot live on that, sir. I do not see why you cannot, he replied. You have lived for some time already, and you say that you have never had permanent employment, and you have none at all now. But a woman has to dress and pay board, says she, and how can she do it on such a pittance? The amount offered was small, but it was a great deal more than she was worth at present. In fact, during the first 6 or 9 months of her connection with some enterprise, it will be of more service to her than she will be to the firm. That's basically, again, talking about him being self-employed for 10 years. You know, you make $0 when you first self-employed. And like you
Exactly.
first mentioned with Rich Dad Poor Dad, although it is capitalistic propaganda in most circles, it still has some points to it. Like hustle for your people.
Mm-hmm.
Start hustling with a purpose behind it besides money. And that's essentially he's like, bro, you would have been fine if you would have actually saw what the real worth is, what the real value was. But coming out of school without experience, she will be a drag on the business until she learns to discharge some definite function in it. Instead of requiring the firm to pay her, she should pay it for training her. Negro business today then finds the miseducated employees its heaviest burden. Thousands of graduates of white business schools spend years in establishments and undergoing apprenticeship without pay and rejoice to have the opportunity thus to learn how to do things. And bro, that's another sign of privilege, dog, because a lot of I know people that had bro, unpaid internships,
Yeah.
but those are much easier for white people. Those are,
Exactly. I can't afford to take no unpaid internship for more
yeah,
than what, a couple weeks maybe. You know what I'm saying? Like
right.
I none of doesn't fit into my life, unfortunately.
The experience is invaluable, but how am I gonna eat? So like same situation, man. Ain't nothing changed. The schools in which Negroes are now being trained, however, do not give our young people this point of view. They may occasionally learn the elements of stenography and accounting, but they do not learn how to apply what they have studied. The training which they undergo gives a false conception of life when they believe that the business world owes them a position of leadership. They have the idea of business training that we used to have of teaching when it was thought that we could teach anything we had studied. Graduates, graduates of our business schools lack the courage to throw themselves upon their resources and work for a commission. The large majority of them want to be sure of receiving a certain amount at the end of the week or month. They do not seem to realize that the great strides in business have been made by paying men according to what they do. Persons with such false impressions of life are not good representatives of schools of business administration. I think what he pointed out right there is, man, this is crazy how it kind of goes, right? This whole thing right here goes along with Rich Dad, Poor Dad. If y'all haven't read that, again, discernment when you read that, because it is capitalistic propaganda, but at the same time, there's a lot of facts in it. There's a lot of truth in it. And when he says right here, it's basically talking about safety. We all want that safety net. And as we know, when we're talking about becoming better people and growing, you know, being comfortable, being safe doesn't push you to grow. It doesn't push you to think outside the box.
Comfort zone holds you back, man.
Exactly. So I mean, it's wow. This man really spitting, bro. Not long ago, a firm of Washington, D.C. appealed to the graduates of several of our colleges and offered them an inviting proposition on the commission basis. But only 5 of the hundreds appealed to responded. My bad. But only 5 of the hundreds appealed to responded, and only 2 of the 5 gave satisfaction. Another would have succeeded, but he was not honest in handling money because he had learned to purloin the treasury of the athletic organization while in college. All of the others, however, were anxious to serve somewhere in an office or a small wage a week, for a small wage a week. Recently, one of the large insurance companies selected for special training in this line 15, I feel like that was supposed to say in this line of 15 college graduates. Yeah, my bad. Let me run that back. Recently, one of the large insurance companies selected for special training in this line of 15 college graduates of our accredited institutions and financed their special training in insurance. Only one of the numbers, however, rendered efficient service in this field. They all abandoned the effort after a few days' trial and accepted work in hotels and with the Pullman Company, or they went into teaching or something else that fixed stipend until they could enter upon the practice of professions. Man, I feel like I'm getting tongue-tied on this.
No, the sentence structure is a little weird. It is different from what we're used to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like, bro, that's that's why they made so many Bibles, bro. People couldn't read that thee, thy, he, and all that stuff.
Most definitely.
Yeah. The thought of the immediate reward, short-sightedness, and the lack of vision and courage to struggle and win the fight made them failures to begin with. They are unwilling to throw aside their coats and collars and do the groundwork of Negro business, and thus make opportunities for themselves instead of begging others for a chance.
And I just see what my boy Alchemist right here, he said we have to be there for each other so it feels safer to make the sacrifices. Like, if we had that safety net, then shoot, I might be able to just take up some type of training and not really worry about, where I'm going to pay my rent or how I'm going to eat. Basic necessities of life.
Man, I'm not going to say it, but when you get to it's a section in how Europe underdeveloped Africa, and it's like some training that goes on. The initiate did not have to pay at that time period. So it's very interesting hearing that, man. Exactly. The support also. Facts. That's all we need, man. I just need us to make us safe, Us to make us secure to chase our dreams and whatnot, and chase whatever helps us with our gifts to give back to one another. So, dang, bro. Where was I at?
The educated Negro.
Okay, bet. The educated Negro, from the point of view of commerce and industry, then, shows no mental power to understand the situation which he finds. He has apparently read his race out of that sphere. And with the exception of what the illiterate Negroes can do blindly, the field is left wide open for foreign exploitation. Again, we see that all the time. Foreigners see this opportunity as soon as they reach our shores and begin to manufacture and sell to Negroes, especially such things as caps, neckties, and house dresses, which may be produced at a small cost and under ordinary circumstances. The main problem with the Negro in this field, however, is salesmanship. That is where he is weak. He said, Alchemist said, whatever service or product we are selling, we need to be there to all make sure those businesses get off the ground quick. That's true. What he talked about right here, but y'all should check out the book, The Greatest Salesman Ever. I think it's The Greatest Salesman of the World, or The Greatest Salesman Ever. All you gotta look up is The Greatest Salesman and you'll find it. And that book is basically teaching you how to be a salesman, but not at the same time. It's basically telling you to be a good person. Like, all you really have to do is be literally put others first. Really, embrace those gifts that God gave you, and that understand that you are a miracle.
And I think a lot of this, what he's pointing to, is just like a lot of people's greed and desire for money. And like, once you really look into it, you understand that like money is really just energy. You know what I'm saying? And like you was just saying, there's an equal energy exchange. So like when you do for others, it'll come back to you. It might not be necessarily in the form of a dollar bill, or it very well could be in the form of a dollar bill. But doing something out of genuine heart for others will bring that energy or that money right back to you.
In abundance.
In abundance.
As the Alchemist says, sales is empathy. Facts.
Shit.
So let's see. It is unfortunate too that the educated Negro does not understand or is unwilling to start small enterprises which make the larger ones possible. If he cannot proceed according to the methods of the gigantic corporations about which he reads in books, He does not know how to take hold of things and organize the communities of the poor along the lines of small businesses. Such training is necessary, for the large majority of Negroes conducting enterprises have not learned business methods and do not understand the possibilities of the field in which they operate. Most of them in the beginning had had no experience and started out with such knowledge as they could acquire by observing someone's business from the outside. One of them, for example, had waited on a white business club and passing the members of my bad. One of them, for example, had waited on a white business club in passing the members a box of cigars or bringing a pitcher of water. When they began to discuss business, however, he had to leave the room. About the only time he could see them in action was when they were at play, indulging in extravagancies, which the Negro learned to take up before he could afford them. Bro, we still see that too. Mm-hmm. Like me and Haven talk about, like, statistically speaking, we know most of us are like, you are in some spectrum of struggling. Like, you're on some spectrum of you're not at the point where you really have real wealth. Like, wealth they say wealth is how long something lasts generations after you. So, like, none of us. So statistically speaking, we walk in the mall. We were in the mall the other day at Lenox, and I was like, bro, all y'all look like walking targets, for one. But two, well, who are y'all trying to show this to? When statistically speaking, all y'all broke.
Right.
You like, I don't know. And people are gonna say I'm not broke, I got money, but, like, again, you don't have wealth though.
Well,
oh, like, that's that's crazy. Like,
people get some money and they want to buy clothes, a car, you know, some jewelry, or, you know, they want to buy stuff that they can show off, and they want to have these. They want to buy these luxuries of life to try to show that they have wealth, but they have no true wealth. You know.
Exactly, like he said right here. He said it's all conditioning. The rappers globally perpetuate the flossing. It's so deep. They have all the rappers globally. Not that for real, man. That's man. Me and him, we
can have a whole conversation about that, man. We can go deep on that topic,
bro. Man. They physically on a high, but spiritually vibrating so low,
right? And then you gotta ask yourself the question is, like, who's paying these rappers? You know what I mean? Who's signing these rappers?
Yeah.
And what rappers do they sign? And what message do they want these rappers to spread? All those questions you should be asking yourself.
Bro, I don't even know who this rapper was, what his name was, but the brother was in an interview, and the interviewer said, so you released 5 albums simultaneously or something like that. It was like a number, like, simultaneously. The rapper sat there and was like, man, you sitting there trying to be T.I. or something with all these big words. What simultaneously? What that mean? I was like, whoa. And the guy that was interviewing him, he kind of like had a little like, so you dropped them all at the same time? And he was like, yeah, at the same time. I'm like, bro, you can't simultaneously. Is not big word, bro.
Then he couldn't use his context clues.
No.
He knew what he did. He couldn't use his context. He not even thinking, bro. That proves it right there. He not even thinking. His brain not working.
Exactly. And that's who they got. Like he said, that's who they got flossing in front of us.
Yeah, right. That's what we want to be like.
Man.
That's the wrong image, man. That's the wrong image. That's why I've always gravitated towards independent artists, man. Artists who have control over what they put out. I think that's very important.
Yeah. So, all right, let me continue right here. Mm-hmm. Negro business, thus handicapped, therefore have not developed stability and the capacity for growth. Practically all worthwhile Negro businesses, which were flourishing in 1900, are not existing today. How did this happen? Well, Negro businessmen have too much to do. They have not time to read the business literature and study the market upon which they depend. And they may not be sufficiently trained to do these things. Man, he really spitting, because I feel this way.
Yeah.
all the time, man. I'm like, there's so much I'm trying to study all the time. Like I gotta think about stocks, and then I gotta look at real estate, and then I gotta keep on reading.
Yeah.
I gotta actually know what I'm actually looking for in the
Mm.
first place. So it's like, bro, when can I get the pause to really learn this stuff?
But and on the other hand of that, we also have to see how we are blessed and we do have some privilege because, like, we have this struggle, but think about our parents,
Oh,
you know,
true,
and our parents.
true.
Like what we're doing here and really diving and putting ourselves into this work really wasn't an option for a lot of them. It was just
Yeah,
like make money or perish. You know what I mean? So I'm grateful for what my family has done to put me in a position where I can commit myself to this forward progression in the way in which I do.
not facts. It's just hard sometimes because you know what they had to deal with, but it's
Mm.
like trying to bring them the lights that we found that we know now.
Yeah,
Sometimes I don't know how it is for others, but for me, sometimes it's conflicting. I'll be
yeah.
like, bruh, we was all miseducated, and it never clicks. It never really clicks.
Mm.
Sometimes, like, so, man, that's why, man. That's why I'll be like, man, white people stole my parents from me. Like mentally, bro. Like, I'd be upset about that, man.
Our friends too, man.
Now, true.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of friends where you try to again, like my cousin, like my big cousin said, man, when it's in you, it's within you. And sometimes, like we said before, we ain't even in our 30s yet. And we know for a fact everybody talks about the 30s like you still like elders, they talk about it like you still young, like you still growing, like you still finding epiphanies in your life. Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh dang, man, I like real coming to realization of what you're dealing with. And so I'm just like you said, I'm thankful that we already thinking about this, that we already on this, because it feels good when we talk to the old heads and they're thanking us.
They think, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
You know, it feels good when they give us the like cosigning what we talking about. So
exactly.
I'm
It's
like,
affirmation, man, and that really propels me forward. It keeps
yeah,
me going. I need that.
facts. All right, man. Let me get through this. I done spent 45 minutes on 7 pages.
Needed. It's needed, man.
Yeah, they're usually operating in the dark or by the hit or miss method. They cannot secure intelligent guidance because the schools are not turning out men properly trained to take up Negro business as it is to develop and make it what it ought to be rather than find fault with it. So, man, I want to stop again, but let me keep going. So often, when the founder dies, then the business dies with him, or it goes to pieces soon after he passes away. For nobody has come into sufficiently close contact with him to learn the secret of his success in spite of his handicaps. I got a story for that. The, the business among Negroes, too, continues individualistic in spite of advice to the contrary. The founder does not take kindly to the cooperative plan, and such business education as we now give the youth does not make their suggestions to this effect convincing. If the founder happens to be unusually successful, too, the business may outgrow his knowledge and becoming too unwieldy in his hands, may go to pieces by errors of judgment, or because of mismanagement, it may go into the hands of whites who are
Woo.
usually called in at the last hour to do what they call refinancing, but what really means dang, but what I think that's supposed to say, but what it really means, but what really means the actual taking over the business from the Negroes. The Negroes then finally withdraw their patronage because they realize that it is no longer an enterprise of the race and the chapter is closed. So yeah, I feel like we definitely seen that.
Over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
um Man, did you see that it's like it's coming back around, but it's the office little short stint where they laughing because the guy with the glasses on I don't know none of their names, bro. I don't watch the show,
Yeah.
but the guy with the glasses he set up like a gym in the office and he wants people to start going to the gym more. So he goes to the black man in the office, and he's trying to get him. He's up there with the weights, like trying to get him to get into wanting to work out at the gym.
Yeah.
And the black man just looking at him like, bro, what you doing?
Right.
And then you know how it goes over into what they call it, the fourth wall, where he's looking at the fourth wall talking to the audience, and he's like, bro, I know how business works. Get the black people to do it, get them, and then the white people are gonna want to do it, and then you gotta somehow find a way to get the black people not to want to do it anymore.
He says that?
Yeah, yeah.
Come
And
on, man.
it was going on. It was coming back around on Twitter multiple times. And I'm
Yeah.
like, bro, this is crazy. They joke about it.
Right.
They joke about it. They know this works. They know how it works.
I'm just surprised they put that out there in the consciousness for, like, you know, for us to hear. I guess that's not really our show though. I mean,
They know we laugh at it. No, I
Yeah.
know people. I know peers that watch The Office, and they know we like it was either Neely Fuller Jr. or Dr. Francis Cresswell, and they were like, bro, we are the most laughingest folk. We always got to show that we're not so serious all the time.
And you know, laughing is also a coping mechanism, man.
Bro, and like, what you coping for? Think about that. That's crazy.
That's real.
Sure. But anyways, all the failures of the Negro business, however, are not due to the troubles from without. Often, the Negro businessman lacks common sense. The Negro in business, for example, too easily becomes a social lion. He sometimes plunges into the leadership in local matters. He becomes popular in restricted circles, and men of less magnetism grow jealous of his inroads. We got evidence of that. He learns how richer men of other races waste money. He builds a finer home than anybody else in the community, and in his social program, he does not provide for much contact with the very people upon whom he must depend for patronage. He has the finest car, the most expensive dress, the best summer home, and so far outdistances his competitors in society that they often they often set to work in childlike fashion to bring him down to their level.
Wow.
So,
what group of black people does that remind you of?
You said what group?
Yeah.
If I'm just thinking overview, the black bourgeoisie.
Yeah. I was thinking athletes, man.
Oh, athletes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I feel like the athlete, if they don't have, and this is the speculation, obviously, because I don't know everybody's situation. And there are athletes out there, but they're just natural conscious or readers and whatnot. But for most athletes, if they haven't necessarily had a family background where they really express the importance of self-education, and it's so easy because their mind is solely on getting to the league most of the time, solely on sports the whole time. And if y'all want to check out a documentary on YouTube, I think it's called The African American Experience, or The African American in Sports. It's on YouTube. It's a sports documentary about African Americans, and it says in there the earliest ones, like early when we got out of slavery and getting into sports, that early on, they said our ancestors were like, bro, why are we playing sports? They thought it was a waste of time. They thought it was just a way to entertain white people.
And it has its inceptions. I mean, at least in America, as being that they used to literally fight us.
Yeah.
Like take the best shape, the biggest dudes, the ones that was the most, that they trained to be the most aggressive and used to fight us for entertainment.
Exactly.
Man, there was a book, man, I can't remember what book it was, man. I gotta find this book and bring it to y'all. But basically what they do, they took this black man, they put him in a ring, man, and they did all different types of stuff to this black man. I gotta find that book.
So was it kind of like the Bull and the Maestro type of thing? Not the Bull and the Maestro, the Bull and the Matador?
I don't know what that is, man. I can't remember what book this is that I read, man.
No, I was just saying, was his situation, like the black man in the situation, was he like basically like the bull and the matador in the situation where he don't like he's in this situation where everybody else knows what's going on except him. Everybody else knows like he's about to go.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, then yeah.
Man, what book is that?
Bobby E. Wright. If y'all don't know who Dr. Bobby E. Wright is, please check him out. He's got a book called The Racial Personality of the Psychopath, I believe. And y'all can just look him up, Dr. Bobby E. Wright, and look up personality psychopath. And in the beginning of the book, it's a very short book, but crucial too. In the very beginning of the book, he talks about the bull and the matador. And he's like, everybody in the crowd knows exactly what's going on, but the bull. The whole time, the bull thinks that he's going, his target is the flag. I mean, not the flag. Yeah, it's a flag that they use, right? Or like the cape, whatever. Y'all know what I mean.
Oh.
And the bull is sitting there he's thinking that's the target. But the whole time he's getting stabbed. He's getting stabbed over every time the matador wipes the flag up, he's stabbing him at the same time. And by the time the bull actually realizes that it's really the matador that's been doing the damage this whole time, and he has that moment of clarity, it's too late. Because by the time when everybody realizes that the bull knows who to go to, then they kill him. because they're not about to have a angry bull just chasing out after a matador like that. So he's saying that we were the matador. I mean, not. I'll mess that up. We were the bull. We're the bull. And he's like, and think of that in consciousness, and think of all of our heroes and all our messiahs in the past, that when they start doing something that's truly revolutionary, when they finally come to a consciousness, like El-Hajj Malik El-Shabazz, Malcolm X, and Martin Luther King Jr. are two specific examples, the most blatant examples of when they came to a certain consciousness. Martin Luther King Jr. coming to the Poor People's Campaign, when he was in there anti-Vietnam War, when he was sitting there telling them his last sermon, telling folks like, look, y'all have all the technology to fix all this stuff, but your humanity has not developed yet. And when they realized he was about to sit there and join up with poor white folks, and they was about to move with him, we know what happened. Then you got El-Hajj Malik El-Shabazz, formerly known as Malcolm X, coming back from Africa, coming back with a total different mindset, removing himself from the NOI, sitting there.
Pan-Africans.
Exactly. Finally getting with John Henrik Clark. And he's like, yo, I realize globally, like, I got to work with my brothers.
Yeah.
What happened next? We know what happened next. So essentially, we are the bull versus the matador this whole entire time. Everybody else knows this game. The Office, that little short stint of The Office with that clip, they're making fun, literally making fun of us, knowing how the business works, getting us on it and getting us off of it, letting us make it something that's trendy, and then they make the money off of
and taking it from us. Yeah.
Every single time. So like the only key is mass conscious development, and that's why it's kind of is sad. All I can do is laugh it off at this point, but it's sad when people don't really understand the importance of becoming an autodidact, the importance of continuing to read, the importance to getting yourself away from some TV every now and then, from just scrolling on social media every now and then, decompressing, having time with yourself. Quarantine showed that people didn't even like looking at themselves in the mirror. So like we need people to start seeing that it's not cool to be dumb. It is
Never
not
has been.
dumb. Yeah, like I know people that like literally like, and both of us have said this before to each other before, how like people joke about us reading, but it's
all the time. Like, I spend my money on books, and people think that's the stupidest thing that I could do, and I'm just like, you must not see the value in knowledge
at all. But every 5, 3, 4, 2 years, we saying like, why they treating us like this?
Right.
Why no justice, no peace every few years? But you ain't think to do something different with your mind? Come on, man.
You preaching, man. You preaching.
It kills me, but at the same time, it's just I can't, because you can't combat them. you can't you can't be like, take this
All
book,
you have to, like
you
you
know.
said, man, we have to become that example to show them something different, to show them that reading does really have an effect on your life, or reading can really take you to these next levels in life.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, that's just when somebody's caught up in that system, it's sometimes it's hard to like show them the other side.
Yeah,
Very real.
that's why, going back to the athletes, that's why I'm like, they are in specialization. I know I talk about specialization in like the STEM programs, STEAM and
Mm-hmm.
whatnot, and how it can basically almost turn you into a robot, get you thinking so objectively that you're not even in tune anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it's the same with sports too, because you have that drive. So it's that in your mind is straight and narrow to this one path. You
Yep.
had no time to really think of anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Like you only become that great by putting so much time into it. So it's like I have like I just personally have an interesting relationship with my personal thoughts on athletes because I
Most definitely.
sympathize, but at the same,
And what kind of person are they making you become to become this athlete? Like a
yeah,
lot of times they're putting you into like a certain type of barbaric mindset that you have to be. Like they train up young black kids to be savage,
yeah,
go out on the field and where they literally act like, I don't know, I would say animals, like literally out there putting their bodies on the line. And I actually remember the book. Well, I looked it up. It's Ralph Ellison, The Invisible Man.
offer
In
it.
one of those very first chapters, they put him into the ring and they make him box and they do all different types of things to these black people, and it's purely for their entertainment. It's like a circus, exactly. And I actually, so I took a trip to Mount Yona, and I told you this story a couple days ago. But I met this brother, and he was in between positions in the NFL, and
Yeah,
I ended up making a connection with him. But I was just telling him, I was like, man, you know what my dream is for NFL players? Um, One of the reasons why I personally stopped watching the NFL was because Colin Kaepernick
same,
and the guy that owns the Cowboys and
same.
whatever,
I do not
Jerry
like that
Owens,
man.
whatever his name,
I don't
he
like
he
that.
just a, he's just a slave master. All these white guys that own these
All
teams
of them.
are just even the black guys probably they just another type of slave master.
Token.
Same, yeah, token exactly. But what if they really said, nah, we ain't playing for these folks no more. Like we done. And then we finna go. We can go over here. We can start our own teams, and y'all television networks, if y'all want to, y'all can come record us. And I honestly know that those television networks would be on their knees begging them to come and
Exactly.
play so they can get that money. But then they really had the power. They just have to recognize and take it.
Yeah.
Like they shouldn't stand for shit like what Jerry, whatever the hell his name is, what he be talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, they gotta do this or that during the national. Nah, fuck that, man. Fuck that.
I'll say.
But yeah, man, I wish they would really take that, hold and own that power.
I would say for me personally, man, I not even personally. Let me say this. Like, how we in most circles we talk about how everybody be like, look, the resources are what really makes the power at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Like having ownership of production and whatnot, right? And we talk about Africa and how it has all this abundance of resources. Like we wouldn't even have tires if it wasn't for Africa. You don't have no rubber trees here. How you gonna have tires without that? You wouldn't have no phones because Colton is in the Congo. So how you gonna have a phone? So we always talk about how like we know there's corruption within the sovereign people, like the leaders and whatnot. We know there's corruption and everything. And looking from our privileged perspective on the outside, looking in, a lot of people say like, brother, like all they got to do is say no, like they have the
Yeah.
resources, this and this and it's the same thing with the sports. Like,
Exactly. And like, bro, these folks got so much money at this point. Like, for example, let's take like the NBA. Like
yeah,
you get LeBron James, you get some of just the highest paid basketball players of all time, right? Even Michael Jordan, and they could get an arena, they could get a TV crew, they could get a TV network, and they could just tell all the players like, nah, bro, we not finna play for these folks no more.
yeah,
And boom, and really that translates to workers too, but
And you know folks gonna follow.
Yeah. Oh,
Everybody gonna
most
hype
definitely.
them up.
And that's why I really applauded. That's why I really applauded. And people thought LeVar Ball was crazy. But LeVar Ball started his own high school league for these players. Like, I thought that was raw. Like, that was
Yeah.
fire that he did that. You know what I mean? Providing different options from going to, slave for these colleges. You know?
I mean, I'm gonna look
But
at
I could probably rant about this for hours, man. So
not for real. I've seen, let's see, the Alchemist said they make it way too comfortable for the athletes. They come from nothing, so they go hard into the flossing lifestyle and blow it all. Facts. Man, they had a whole documentary on that too.
yeah.
You know you on average you know you're only gonna be in there 3 years for the
3 or 4 years, you bankrupt by a certain age. You have CTE, you can't
no good.
you
Your
don't
mom
have a
either.
college education,
Mm-mm.
et cetera, et
But you
cetera,
got
et
money.
cetera.
But you got
Yeah.
money, and you don't
You
gave
just
it
put
back
into
to them.
you put into a system, man, and then so the dude I met on the mountain, he used to play for the Chicago Bears, but he was just telling me how like it's the business, man. Like even the best players don't even ain't really even on the field a lot of times. Like they might draft a player and they might draft a player like first round, right? But it's a third round player better or like an eighth round player that's better, and they might just, hold him and play the other dude because they drafted him first and they don't want to look bad. So they really just playing with folks' lives too, man.
Yeah.
It's really crazy.
Another thing that they also were doing, it was some years ago. I think it was, I can't remember if it was Plaxico Burris or if it was dang, what's the brother's name that was on the
Next young
Giants?
buck, yeah, real.
It was one of the brothers from the Giants. He's with, I think it's the one that's with he's with the R&B artist. Like who's with Chris Brown's ex? My bad. It's
Rihanna, the date Rihanna or
not
Kalani.
nah, it's a brother. It's a brother that dates Chris Brown's what Chris Carucci. He dates Carucci now. If you know who I'm talking about, please put in the chat. But anyways, I think he was on ESPN some years ago, back when I used to watch, and he was talking about how he was playing through injuries because he knew that if he even said he had like a little snap, like just shoulder or something, and knowing that he has to play all 17 games to get that check, like he doesn't get some bonuses. Victor Cruz, thank you. It's
I
Victor
didn't even
Cruz. That's
bring
what.
that up, man.
And he said you don't get those bonuses. You don't get all your money unless you play a certain amount of games. So
And
he
then
was
their
like,
contracts are also non-guaranteed.
all of them. Yeah.
Like the NFL is modern day slavery. Say that.
The interesting thing is, again, man, like Kwame Ture said, man, he don't want the money. He don't want the power. I mean, he don't want the fame. He want the power. We can turn the money into anything. Look at cryptocurrency right now. Look at how we used to use the cow shell. We used to the cowrie shell. We used to use salt. We used to use all these different things. But like at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what that is. It's the power that you want at the end of the day. Like that's like what the alchemist was saying earlier. Like we need to empower one another, so we know we got each other's back. You know, bro, folks gonna get tired of me saying empower. Like I feel like I said it every live that we've had so far.
I've been saying that same word too. We got to do things that are empowering for us.
Like he said right here, they pumping with steroids. Facts. Calvin Johnson talked about that. He was saying he was like I definitely was smoking cannabis because he was like it was easier for me to get those not muscle relaxers. What was it? What drug was that? My bad. I'm slipping today, bro. But
Hydro? I don't know.
yeah, it was basically saying it was easier for them to get the real prescription drugs than it was for something natural. Like he's like, there's a major drug problem going on in the NFL. So
Right.
it's too many of them that's spoken out about this stuff. Yes, gas it. Yo, we are
That's my
pro
boy right there, man.
God.
That's my guy.
I'm pro anything that came from God. It's something that man didn't have to manufacture in a chemical way.
They
Like,
altering that too, though. They altering
true.
that too. Though.
It's, bro, I know an account that talks about, and we kind of getting off topic now.
We are getting a little off topic.
Yeah. There's an account that's like about like super healthy tree. And he's talking about like, yo, you need to know who's spraying these pesticides on your stuff. Like y'all, you don't even know what you're getting.
Or how they genetically modify it, you know, how they have these immense levels of THC, and you know, that's not natural, man.
Yeah.
It's not natural.
They said our the cannabis that our old heads now used to have, or even the ones before them, like the cannabis they used to smoke in those speakeasies back in the day, back with jazz and everything. They were like, that's not the same cannabis anymore.
Not at all. Not at all. What's going on? We got off topic, but you know, even just that it shows the relevance of what this book is talking about. The way we were able to relate it to football, or just, you know, the black bourgeoisie in that manner. You know, it still happens today. But yeah, if we could get those people to support and provide that blanket of comfort, so we could really come out of this situation and do what we need to you know, to elevate to new levels of, I guess, consciousness, organization, etc. That would be such a blanket. I mean, a blessing for us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's
getting those people on this consciousness and getting people away from capitalism and individualism. You know what I mean? But like Alchemist saying, they're comfortable. The money got them comfortable.
I feel like it's slowly coming. Slowly. Yeah. One day it's gonna be one young brother or sister out there that's like, yo, but like you saw how Maya Moore, man, I love her now because she said I don't need the money. I'm gonna start doing social justice stuff. You know, I'm actually start helping people. So like I feel as though I thought LeBron would eventually
could be that person. Maybe later on, man. He still got time. LeBron still got time.
True. But for me, I thought he might be able to run for president, bro. And I thought that he might be able to make his own league. I was thinking to myself, like, if Ice Cube's doing the big three,
yeah,
you know, why not? And I'm pretty sure LeBron's getting up. Like, I don't know exactly. Obviously, we don't know their bank account, but Ice Cube and LeBron got some bank, bro. So like them two together, like somebody on Twitter put the numbers together, and they said it would really only take like a good 300 players. As far as I think he said, I can't remember if it was NBA or NFL, but it's only a good 300 players that would be needed. Set up some type of, I think he said like a trust or something like that, so the money is just continuously going. Like you basically have everything set. It was like the new people coming in wouldn't really have to put all their money into it like that, knowing that their contracts are pretty low. But it's like you only need a certain amount of people to actually get this ball rolling. Again, man, it's all about sacrifice, man. Sacrifice for yourself. Exactly. You know, get into the self-sustainability so we can be like the alchemist, you know, be self-employed for 10 plus
and then we can just live in abundance. We ain't gonna have to worry about, you know, how much money I got. You know, we just have everything we need. That's the goal. That's the vision. Black people don't know how to cooperate to that mass level. Right now, they're all getting a comfortable check, I say. I mean, no, I'll say to that, but but that's true. That's true. I'm in agreement.
Yeah, let me take that back. But yeah, man, it's crazy how. Again, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I don't want to go into the next chapter. That's gonna be another.
Oh, we're not going into the next chapter. I'm glad this conversation carried us to this time.
But as far as it's just amazing to me that again, this book was written in 1933. We are our ancestors. We've said multiple.
Say that again, bro.
We are our ancestors. Like it's again, we are the same thing, same heart, same mind, different time. You know, and when you know better, you do better. You know, like again, like John Henry Clark said, as Alma was talking to us about, like he was saying that struggle is your best education. We've been struggling for so long. That means
Also,
we right
Ta-Nehisi
there.
Coates, man, he writes about that in Between the World and Me. Like he says, all I can give you is the struggle.
When tell me, because when we first talked about that, I think somebody said something about like, dang, like that's all you have to give. You know, like that's what you have to get. Like that's what you offering your son. If y'all haven't read Ta-Nehisi Coates' Between the World and Me, he's literally writing to his son in the book right after I think it was Trayvon Martin's case.
Yeah.
Was it Trayvon or was it Mike Brown? I think it's Trayvon, right?
Either or Mike Brown, one of them. Yeah. I think
And
it was Trayvon. I
yeah,
don't know.
and he was like, all I like Jalen just said, all I have to give is struggle. But coming back to it now, in my mindset now, I'm like, bro, I gotta fall in love with the struggle.
Yeah.
And not in a sense of like, oh, I want to stay in the struggle. I'm already constantly everybody in this entire world is constantly within a struggle, within it internally, externally, mentally, physically, spiritually. Everybody's had to deal with struggle. But it's like,
that struggle is what's going to get you towards, your angle or where you want to be. The struggle is a blessing.
Facts. We are the most blessed people then.
To be in the struggle. Because if we weren't struggling, we'd just be unconscious zombies that continue to fuel, European Western capitalism. And that's not what we want to be. We want to be part of the struggle. We want to be part of that revolutionary cog that destroys that Western ideology and systems.
Facts.
Big facts. That's what we are. Let's say that.
Yeah.
We are the struggle.
We are the struggle. Like I just know that it's changing, man. It's truly changing. And anybody that's been in here this whole time with us, appreciate you.
Yeah, y'all the struggle too, man. We are the struggle.
Y'all are definitely part of the answer. Know that you the answer. Like as Jalen's name, Jawabu. Be the answer. You know?
Be the answer.
This man is really Allen Iverson out here. You know? Like
for y'all that want to know a little backstory,
I'm gonna
go ahead and say what you just had an epiphany, so go ahead.
Okay. Bro, Allen Iverson is man, everybody, if you really would, you love Allen Iverson because he's been real since day one. He's always kept it real and always will be real, always shows love to everybody. He's authentic with his heart. And with his name being the answer, again, a connection, us being like loving us so much. Allen Iverson through his whole career was himself, and
they hated him for it.
Yeah, all the tattoos, all the baggy
cornrows, his attire, everything about his essence.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
He was nothing but himself, and that's what we got to
be.
Great. Again, like Kobe said, they all lucky he wasn't like 6 feet, not 6 feet, 6 inches taller. They lucky. So
great. And then how influential he was too. He changed the whole culture of the NBA, the whole entire culture.
Allen Iverson is us.
Yeah.
Allen Iverson is us.
A revolutionary.
Yeah. No cap, bro. Like
no cap.
He's the perfect example of what a person should thrive to be. As far as not just saying like to be in basketball, not to be in basketball, but as far as our essence and empowering ourselves, again, coming back to that word, man, because again, you can
practice. Y'all talking about practice? I'm talking about the game,
bro.
Like what I do out there on the court,
bro. That's how I know folks love chess, and it helps you think. And I know you probably would you would kill me in chess right now. And I know I need to get back into it, but I'm sitting here thinking of that as practice, and I'm in my mind. I'm like, bro, we deal with this every day. I'm dealing with a real life chess game. I don't got time to play chess because I'm trying to play it in real life right now. But I know I need to get back into it though.
Yeah, and also if you can find leisure and if you can find something that's leisure but also fuels your brain and allows you to critically think, because we all need rest. We can't do this 24/7. But for y'all that want to know the story of my name, I actually don't have it currently in my profile. I did have it in currently. Oh, yeah. And if y'all want to play chess, send me some DMs, man. I'm trying to play some of y'all some chess, man.
No, hey, Nico was killing me, bro. I beat him the first time, I think.
Yeah.
And after that, it was like 4-1, 5-1.
But here go a little short story.
Ox's chess, yeah.
But So I go by the name Jawabu. You're not gonna find on my profile currently because I use my real name to connect with people that I know so they can find me. But the name Jawabu was a name that I came up with as a child. So as a child, I took my initials, um, like the first parts of my name. So my name is Jalen Warren Boutte. And the strange thing is also, so if I would have followed it exactly, it would have been J-A from Jalen, W-A from Warren, and B-O, because my last name is spelled Boutte. But I did that. I was like, nah, man, that don't really sound right. Like, I don't like Jawabo, so I'm gonna do Jawabu, and that's something I use just like as my name for websites, email address, and largely mostly what people know me as Jawabu from is from gaming. So like when I was on Xbox or PlayStation, that was my gamer tag. But growing up, it didn't really have any meaning to me outside of that. But as I got older, I did a little research. Jawabu is actually a key Swahili word, and it means answer. And yeah, drug or not, yeah, you know that, Zay. Yeah, Jawabu, yeah, I use that. It means answer. So as a child, I named myself Answer. And I was doing I was with you at an event, and our speaker said once you decide to be the answer, that's when things change. So
Exactly.
for me, once I took that identity back, once I own that identity, then I become the change. I'm the answer and the change. So that's it. Divine, man. Divine.
For real. Hey, again, man. Talking with the alchemist earlier. When we talking about just touching in with our ancestors, touching that present, having that presence with you and everything. Like
Right.
we were talking about how like we still learning and experiencing that presence. It's like it's powerful. It's like I remember I was meditating the other day,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a short meditation, very short, but out of nowhere, it felt like I had two hands on me, like on both sides. And I was like, yo, I know you there. And then I opened my eyes and I just smiled for a second.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to go back into it, but you got to be in the moment. Yeah, you can't break it. So I was like, yeah, I'm a baby at this right now. But you, like we said, bro, just wait, bro. Just wait until we just keep on diving, keep mining into us, and again,
And building with y'all as well. So like me and Zach, we've only known each other for about a year.
yeah,
So this is very like our progression in this is very like we at a very low level.
bro.
Honestly.
Again, man, mass consciousness is the answer, right? We know that's a part of the answer,
Right.
but like you just now said, us always bouncing off of each other on what we learn and bringing it back to each other. It's truly tremendously expedited my mental. And like just imagine when you have everybody doing that. Anytime you encounter another brother or sister, that energy is just gonna keep your vibrations going up.
And even if you just plant a seed, man, if you
Yeah,
just plant certain seeds of knowledge within people, that's gonna grow and it's gonna spread, man. So share the love, bro. Share the love and the wealth of wisdom.
always.
And so Zach and I, we have a book club called Unlocked, and you actually see you can see our tag right there. And we built this book club to do exactly that, to liberate Black people through education. Um, and just sharing that wealth, man. So we would love everybody who's in here vibing with us right now, feeling this energy, to come read with us and come learn with us on a deeper level, man. For real.
I'd also just like to add though that within this, since we've been so dedicated to it, and again, like when you start gravitating towards, like when you in your mind, again, if you're in the metaphysics, when you constantly thinking about something, it's gonna come. It just comes. So us always talking about our progression, always talking about unifying with people. We found circles of people that are also out there trying to do that.
Right.
We found people that have connections, and we've made connections. They're like, a year ago, I didn't have this,
Right.
and it is truly it's truly a blessing to find people out there that are here with you and also are trying to be the answer. You know, and again, so if any of y'all actually trying to tap into these circles, like let us know. Again, like he said in the book, bro. Like you can't put us down before you try.
Right.
You know, like I'm a very skeptical person, bro. You can ask Jalen, man. I done told this man like I don't trust this
I
person.
thought I was skeptical. This man is skeptical.
I'm super skeptical. So like if man, I will do my due diligence before I dive head first into something. But I'm gonna at least stick my toe in it. I'm gonna at least say like, all right, bro. I'm gonna have faith in you because I have faith in us. You burn me, I'm gonna burn this whole. I'm gonna burn this. but I have faith in you.
Yeah.
You know, so like, if y'all again, if I'm being as sincere and as honest as I can be, bro. Like tap in, man. Tap in with yourself.
And you know it's genuine because look, we not asking nothing of y'all. We don't want y'all money. We just want y'all to come and read and learn and build so we can bounce ideas off of each other so we can all be at a higher place. That's all we want, man. We want to grow together with y'all.
Yeah, bro. Again, I'm gonna say it again. It's not cool to be dumb.
Not at all.
Yeah. Like Jalen was saying, like that. It's that famous quote, man. We want to hire something from a black man, put it in a book.
And you know what is that? And honestly, like, what were you reading about a year ago before I contacted you?
What was I reading before? I was all over the place, bro. I think around that time I was probably touching into more James Baldwin a little bit.
Yeah.
I did fall into some capitalistic propaganda.
Yeah.
I was literally all over spirituality. I was all over with what I was reading, but you know, once I started finding more people who had a mission, a purpose, like understanding we all got a purpose, then my reading became a little more intentional.
Word. And you know, I came to you because I seen you as a reader, and I seen you as somebody that I could build with, man. And I'm appreciative for you because you propelled me in ways that I couldn't even imagine, bro. Like us being here today, crazy.
Now, likewise.
Thank you, bro.
And for y'all that's still on here, super quick story. We was actually supposed to be roommates at UGA.
Before we didn't even know each other.
Nah.
Yeah.
And I keep telling him, man, it was a blessing that we weren't.
And partying, probably drink. I don't even know. I didn't really drink back then, but we probably would have been partying.
Yeah. My mindset was not the same.
Nah, man. So it's divine timing as well, man. The time wasn't right then.
Yeah. So
I say.
All right, bro.
So yeah. Thank you everybody for tuning in this conversation. If y'all want to build with us, shoot us a message. You can shoot us a message personally, or you can shoot us a message at UnlockTBC, which is down there in the pinned comment. And you know, we'd love to build with y'all in any way we can, and we'd love for y'all to come read with us. Yeah. So thank y'all. We appreciate y'all. The Alchemist, you've been in here sharing love and sharing knowledge with us. Much love, bro. Appreciate you. Druggernaut, Zay, you come in here all the time. Neat 2 Red, I be seeing you in here. Thank you, y'all. Much love.
Yeah.
Any last remarks, man? I know I got one thing to say, but I'm gonna let you say what I got before I gotta say.
All right. Again, I'm gonna co-sign what he's just gonna say, and I appreciate all y'all coming in here. Like I said, hey, gang, for real, bro. Hey, we family, bro. Anybody in here, man, know that I consider you family. Like, if you are of African descent, like again, we didn't have the term cousin in certain languages back then. You know, like certain things didn't exist back then. It was so communal that you are my brother, you are my sister. So I definitely want y'all to fully understand that. And again, this is all with love. So, man, shut your up. Man, y'all don't know. Man, that's my girlfriend. Don't be saying, man, get your, man. Man, I'm going to put this on YouTube. They ain't even going to know what I'm talking about because they don't see the comments like this.
Right. You got to screenshot her, man.
I know, right, man? He's talking about thank you, brother. Man, get out of here. But yeah, that's my final remarks for tonight, man.
For sure. Last thing I just got to say is a BB for Hodie, man. African liberation, man.
A BB for Hodie.
Black liberation through education, putting solutions into action, man. Thank y'all. Love y'all. And we'll see y'all, what 4 or 5 days? We're doing
Yeah,
this again.
next
So
Tuesday. And
next.
if you again, please remember, tap into the book club, sign up if you haven't already. So the next following Sunday, we can tap in some more. We're gonna have this Discord out there for y'all, so that we can stay connected within segments like this, like so that we don't necessarily have to wait till next Tuesday or next Thursday or next following Sunday 2 weeks later. You know, like we trying to keep this going because we know when you get ideas, it's good to get them going then, not like 2-3 weeks later. So,
Most def.
yeah.
All right, y'all. We'll be in touch, man. Love y'all.
All right. Peace.